Jesus, Mary and Joseph, after attempting 3 times to record this, the first time didn't even record, the second time my voice wasn't captured, the third time, hopefully this isn't a bust. So, today, we're talking about a little certain console over here called the Nintendo Switch. If my button decides to work, there we go. I'm unorganized today because there's like 18 million buttons I have to press, and I have to reorganize my hotkeys. And I'm not gonna do that because I'm lazy, and we're already like a couple seconds into this video. So we'll talk to you guys a little bit about the Switch and some of the criticism it's getting. Hopefully I won't speak for a half an hour again, because that wouldn't be fun. But who knows? So let's go to a little store called GameStop. Whether you love it or hate it, it's probably the only place that I was probably the only gaming store where most people, besides Amazon, can get all their gaming needs and all their good stuff and stuff like that, like me. So the reason why I'm here is because I want to show off some things about the Switch that's getting a lot of criticism, and that's pretty much everything about it. So let's go off with the quick stats. I'm also reading Game Informer for for most of this stuff, and also from my knowledge from looking up stuff before, a lot of research into this video. So release date's March 3rd. We all know that. The price is $300. We all know that. The processor uses a custom NVIDIA Tegra chip. I want to talk about that in a separate video, so look out for that. The battery life is 2.5 to 6 hours. I'm going to mention that in this video. The screen is 6.2 inches, has a 720p resolution, and it's also a touchscreen tablet. When it's on tablet mode, it is 720p touchscreen, which is not that bad. It's small. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty small, but gets the job done. Storage, 32 gigabytes right out the box, up to 2 terabytes of micro SD, and I have a 32 gigabyte SD card that I'm probably gonna put. And assuming it's 32 gigabytes, but we're actually gonna get 29. So that's what, like 31 gigabytes. Well, that's about 60 gigabytes. If it was just 32 gigabytes, it'd be 64, but that's about 60 gigabytes I'm gonna get. But considering all the games I'm gonna buy as of right now is gonna be cartridges, and the good thing about having cartridges is that you don't have to install the game when you put it in the system. You just put it in the system, and that's it. Unlike the PS4, where I bought Lego Dimensions and Payday 2. But guess what? Even though I got a physical version, I still have to download the game, which doesn't make any sense. And no, I'm not talking about updates. I'm talking about actually downloading the game. So, if I have a bunch of games, I don't have enough storage for it. I just wasted $60 on a game that I can't play because I don't have enough storage. So, luckily for the Switch, it's a cartridge. Everything is in said cartridge. I don't have to download or install anything, unless I get digital. But other than that, I don't have to download or install anything. So, what I want to talk to you all about today. Actually, hold on, before I get into that, let's continue. Backwards compatibility will not be backwards compatible. Nintendo, I believe, is in the talks of bringing Virtual Console, which I'm surprised. Why are they in the talks of bringing Virtual Console? It should be a given, Nintendo. Come on. The Wii U took like half of its year to get the Virtual Console, and it was booty. So I really hope this first year we get Virtual Console, because Nintendo wants the system to last. We better get Virtual Console, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be from NES to 64, possibly GameCube. I really hope they bring out GameCube, because I really would like to play Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion and all the other exciting GameCube games. Mario Strikers, oh my god. Considering, oh never mind then. Ooh, they couldn't. GameCube Virtual Console with online. Ooh, Mario Strikers. the original on the Switch, on the go, my boy. Oof, man, that'll be lit. Anyway, the game prices is $60. It's more along the lines of the Wii U and not the 3DS, which I'm okay with. So what you get in the box is the system itself, which is the tablet, the left and right Joy-Con. We're going to get into that in a second. Joy-Con wrist straps, Joy-Con grip, which is essentially the, the controller, like attaching the controllers to a grip. We'll get more onto that later on or in a second. The docking station, the HDMI cable, and the AC adapter. All that for $300. Now, a lot of people are saying $300 is too much, but yet there are probably the same people who paid $500 for an Xbox One or $400 for a PS4. Now, I'm not going to get into launch games. I'm just going to get into what people have been complaining about the most was the accessories and the pricing on the Switch. Now, depending on how long I ramble for, because like I said, my original take was a half an hour, so we'll see if this is another half an hour video. We'll talk about some minor games here and there. We're gonna go to the meat and the potatoes of what people have been complaining about, and that's the accessories. Now, this is a perfect example of hypocrisy. Is that even an actual word? Hypocrisy. I know hypocrite is a word. That's the word I'm looking for. Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy convinces false virtue are good. Okay. Anyway, hypocrites. That's kind of who people are when it comes to the Switch. To be honest, I haven't seen anybody that owned an Xbox One complain about the Switch. It's usually PlayStation fans that complaining about the Switch, because PC gamers love the Switch. There was a lot of people saying that PC gamers, the Switch, the reason why the Wii U was pretty successful is because PC gamers bought the Wii U because all the Nintendo exclusives. Now for the Switch, I could probably see the same thing happen too. A lot of PC gamers buy the Switch because you get all the Nintendo exclusives, you can take it on the go, and for all your third-party games, you could buy it on a PC. You can have mod support and stuff like that. You can have all that stuff. So, yeah. But the PS4 people, they're usually who's complaining, because I have not seen one person that has an Xbox One complain about the Switch. Only PlayStation 4 people. A lot of people are saying if the Nintendo Switch was made by Sony or called the Sony Switch, people will eat that right up, no matter how powerful it is or anything. Because look at the PSVR. I don't know if it's the weakest VR headset of all of them, but I mean that didn't really sell well because it was $400 and it wasn't that much games for it. But still, people literally bought the living shot of that. So like, even though it was technically still bad, people still bought it. So anything Sony makes, people are gonna buy. But that's not why we're here. We're gonna talk about the Switch accessory prices. Okay, so this rambling is probably the reason why it's like an hour video. So let's look at the contestant number 1. The Nintendo Switch Pro Controller listed for $6.99, $70 just to round it off the extra penny. Can't buy it anywhere. Probably not going to buy a Pro Controller till later on because of how expensive it is what most people would say. Or probably wait till it's used. But I personally like to buy controllers new because, I had bad experiences, not just with GameStop, but just getting used controllers just in general. Anyway, $70 for a Pro Controller, which is essentially just a basic controller that has pretty much every feature of a Joy-Con besides, god dang it, Trevor, besides, the actual camera on the right Joy-Con, which is essentially a VR camera. Or it's like the PlayStation camera or the Kinect. It's kind of like Nintendo's version of that, but it's just on a controller. And it's going to be used very poorly. Probably not a lot of people are going to use it. But hey, it's there for developers. And I'm pretty sure 1-2 Switch probably going to be the only game that's going to use that camera feature. Who knows? Maybe like a Luigi's Mansion type game where you use a flashlight. You might have to use that. But who knows? But $70 for a Pro Controller, which is everything that a Joy-Con has. Basically a Joy-Con glued together minus the camera on the controller. It has a lot more features than a DualShock, That's probably why it's more expensive. Nobody ever thought about that, huh? Pretty much the only thing that the Pro Controller and the DualShock 4 have is the share button. And that's pretty much it. The gyro controls. Not a lot of games use the gyro controls either. Or motion controls. Pretty much everything else. I prefer Amiibo support over a touchpad because I can only name like 2 games that I have that use the touchpad like a legit touchpad. Everything is basically just like a big select button. I don't get use out of it. I can see the Pro Controller, me getting use out of it. I know it's not the Nintendo fanboy me saying, oh, the Switch is better than the PS4. No, I really love my PS4. If I'm not playing PC, I'm playing my PS4, and I'm probably going to do the same thing for the Switch. If I'm not playing Switch or PC, I'm playing PS4, because that's where most of my games are, and where most of my games are probably going to be. But I'm still going to buy third-party games for the Switch, because why not? Having Skyrim on the go, or like Zelda on the go, or Mario, or Smash on the go, like, or third-party games like Yooka-Laylee, like, that's why the Switch is probably going to be successful, but I'm not going to get into that. Paying $7 for this kind of technology is worth it, as opposed to paying $65 for a DualShock 4. And yes, I said $65, because that's kind of how much they are. If you're not going to get just a plain black one, these all cost around $65. You know? For the same technology. It's just different skins. As opposed to the Pro Controller, where there's actual technology inside of it, instead of just a reskin. I mean, you could just custom paint your Pro Controller for like $40 less. Like, you know, paying $5 extra for a skin is not really. I mean, I have a blue DualShock 4 controller, but that's gonna trade in my black one to buy the blue one. You know, nobody ever thought about that. The only reason I still would have the black one because. The only reason I don't have the black one because the triggers and the sticks got messed up, so I ended up trading that in for a blue controller. So, you know, that's the only reason why I have a different color controller, but that's really the point. The point I'm making here is that for $5 extra you get a new skin with nothing else different, as opposed to the Switch Pro controller, which has, if I can find a picture of the Pro controller on this, no. Here we go. It's supposed to the Pro Controller, which has a bunch of stuff on it that nobody still understands. As like, oh, why are you paying $70 when you can pay 60, technically 65, for a DualShock 4, which the Switch controller does the same thing as the DualShock 4, minus like one feature, but it has way more features than the DualShock 4. Same goes for the Xbox One controller. Xbox One controller has even less features that cost around the same price, and probably, and most likely even more than, you know, all this, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Now before, so here's what's good. I said before I mentioned it, what comes in the system. This is a more better, doesn't come with 4 controllers. If it came with 4 Joy-Cons, well, that'd be like $350, which is still not that bad, but I mean, hey, this is actually a lot of stuff. Here's the Joy-Con grip that you put the Joy-Cons in, and then, it acts as a regular controller. Let's go to Exhibit C. So we're going to go to Xbox One controller, where here we go. $150 for an Elite controller. Now hold on, let me go back to GameStop. Yeah, I have horrible typing. So while this loads, $150 for an Xbox One Elite controller, which basically all it is. Just has extra buttons, a lot of extra buttons to be exact. A case that's like, I actually seen a Elite controller, because my cousin has one. He has all these buttons and stuff. I don't think he even uses all the extra buttons. He does have this D-pad though, and it felt kind of weird playing it. I mean, I guess it's convenient for pro gamers. But I've seen a lot of people buy this, and nobody's complaining that it's $150. Like, oh, it's nothing. But when this decides to load, I'm gonna show you what I mean as to why I'm complaining. is that why people are being hypocrite about the Switch prices when its competitors' prices don't really offer anything in terms of their controller, their play style. So let's go to right here. Let's see, the Joy-Con left, the Joy-Con right. So what's going on here? Now I'm going to educate people. Have you ever thought of playing two players? Like if you bought a PS4 and Xbox, or Xbox One and Xbox One, you bought a split screen game. I don't know what split screen games came out at launch. When I go to the launch video, make my launch video comparing all three, or maybe the Wii U too. I might do all four. It's gonna like you ever thought about it? Pay $400 for a system, plus $60 for a game. That's $460 right there, not including tax. And you buy. Let's say your launch game is Knack. It's a split screen game. You want to play with your friend. Hey, but I don't have another controller. I'm gonna have to shell out another $60, $65 just to get another controller. So all that is with tax. Let's say it's 60. That's 120. So 400 minus 120. It's like 560 plus like tax and stuff. It's gonna be about like $600 of stuff right there. So yeah, $600 just for a system. I mean, yeah, the PS4 is more powerful, and you could buy a PS4 Slim for the same price, and you could actually buy an Xbox One. You can actually buy an Xbox One. I don't know if it's Slim or not, for even cheaper than the Switch. It's about $100 cheaper than the Switch, and it's more powerful. But here's the thing: you can take it on the go. You get two controllers straight off the bat. See, that's the thing. You get two controllers out the box. Hence, as to why it's not called Joy-Con. That's why on Game Informer it's called Joy-Con left and right. That comes with the box. Instead of saying the Joy-Con controllers or Joy-Con controller, because it's not a controller. Technically, the Joy-Con left and right are two separate controllers. So straight out the box, excuse me, straight out the box, you get two controllers. So when I buy Bomberman, and yes, I am buying Bomberman. A lot of people are surprised that Bomberman is like the second most popular Switch game next to 1-2 Switch, because 1-2 Switch probably the only other good game that's coming out of launch besides Isaac and like two other games. But that's besides the point. When I do buy Bomberman and Zelda, I'm gonna play Bomberman by myself. Trevor's gonna be there with me, I hope. Hope I don't do anything that day, because I'm gonna be so sad when my dad's like, oh, I'm like, listen, Dad, please, I'm playing the Switch right now. So when I play Breath of the Wild, play that by myself, put it with the Joy-Con grip, and when we play Bomberman, I'm like, Trevor, let's play Bomberman. I don't have to buy a second controller. I don't have to spend an extra $40 or $50, or in this case, $80, to buy a new controller, because everything you need is in one Joy-Con. All the buttons, and it's everything. Like I mentioned, it's its own separate controller. So you're essentially buying two controllers for the price of like two-thirds of the price. Which, I mean, doesn't sound that bad, but like, let's go back to accessories. So mind you, the Joy-Con left and right together is $80. And if we were to go to separately, you can see right here that buying a Joy-Con left and right separately is $50. And if you go buy a Wii remote, I'm not gonna look it up, but if you were to go get a Wii remote, that's $40. So an extra $10, you're getting essentially a boosted Wii remote, which kind of what the Joy-Cons are. If you think about it, they're basically way more powerful Wii remotes that have way better and more technology inside of it. It's just people don't understand that it's technically two controllers. Depending, to be honest, I'm not going to lie. Depending on the game you play, it might require two Joy-Con like arms. It's gonna require two Joy-Cons. But apparently you could use one Joy-Con, but you're not gonna get the experience that you would get if you had two. But that comes out during like April or May, so I might have enough money to end up buying another Joy-Con and arms. But Gonna have to go wait and see. But look at this. $150. $50. You could essentially buy 3 of these. Alright? Or you could buy it inside that bundle that I mentioned before for $80. So let's do the math. So it's $80. You got, oh, hopefully it didn't stop the recording. Okay, so just making sure. Got 80 plus that 50, which is 130. So for like, let's see, you could add that 50 for that one Joy-Con, 180. So for an extra $30, you could buy 4 Joy-Con controllers. If you're gonna buy, actually, yeah, if you buy 2 of these, you're essentially paying $180, and you could just buy 1 of these. So think about it, you're buying 4 controllers, or 2 complete controllers, for the price of 1 Xbox Elite controller for the extra like $30, which is still not that bad. Like, people don't think about this stuff. They just see the price and just assume things that if they would actually take the time and effort to look at. It's not. It's something that people have to take into consideration. Where, if you actually look and analyze everything, it'll make more sense, and you sound more smart too. I'm not saying that people are hypocrites that are dumb. Sometimes they do have valid reasons, but this is not one valid reason, because they're saying stuff that is not all true. I'm not saying that I'm showing facts or spitting facts or anything like that. I'm just showing what could potentially, most likely, is factorial evidence of everyone's being a hypocrite about the pricing on the Switch. Gotta pay for technology. People didn't complain about the Elite controller being $150, which basically is just a bunch of extra buttons, which is kind of useless. You could buy 4 controllers for just the same price, just you gotta pay an extra $30. Not even. If you get rid of the 50, you're saving an extra $20 if you buy 3 Joy-Cons. If you buy it in the bundle, and if you buy just 1, that's $130 right there. But if you buy all 3 separately, it's gonna be $150. But so that's 3 Joy-Con controllers for the price of 1 Elite controller. Even like, even buying it pre-owned, $130. What's this? $130? You could buy 3 Joy-Con controllers. I don't know, regular Xbox One controllers. This is like $50, but it's on sale. Look at it. Like I mentioned, you could buy a 500 gigabyte Xbox One for $220, which is not that bad. But it's just the price that turned people off. But what people are also not seeing is that people were like, "Oh, the Nintendo Switch online service is gonna be, if it's more than like $30, I'm not gonna buy it." Well, for a year of Nintendo, I'm just gonna call it Nintendo Network. For a year of Nintendo Network online service, you're paying $20 for that, as opposed to paying. It's gonna have similar deals with how but you get like online play and exclusive stuff. I'm gonna buy it because it's $20 a year. I'm pretty sure my dad would like that a lot more than paying $60 a year for PlayStation Plus, which my PlayStation Plus is expiring in like a couple weeks. It's like 2 weeks after the Switch launch, so I should be able to buy another 3 months or so. That'll hold me off. But it's the sheer fact that people are like, "Oh, the Switch is not worth the $300 plus everything." But so, what you're telling me is, let's actually bring up the Switch logo. Oh, I can't even English. So what you're telling me is, like I mentioned before, at launch, like I mentioned, let's actually bring this back. to the black screen. Like I mentioned, you're going to pay $400 for the system, plus the $60 for the game. Also, plus the plus another $65 for a controller. That's around like $600. That's a lot. Plus the PlayStation Plus on the 60, that's gonna be more than $600. At least for the Switch, the online service won't be until like autumn, and that does. So we pretty much have most of the year to try out the online service, which I am gonna try because I am gonna try to buy Binding of Isaac digitally. I really hope Nintendo doesn't have that stupid tax, please. If there's one thing that I want from Nintendo, I don't ask a lot from them, but if there's one thing that I want, please, just please, Nintendo, don't make that. Just make it like PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. You don't have to, even Steam. You don't have to pay tax for digital games. 'Cause that's stupid. I understand paying tax for physical games, but for digital, there's no tax on that. It's $59.59. I'm paying $59.59. Because when I bought games for the Wii U and the 3DS, F that, I had to pay like extra like $5 for that. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. But there were some ways that I found that, stuff that I did that, yeah, I end up getting the game cheaper. But I think it's because of the region lock. That's the reason as to why there was tax. But I really hope that since there's no region lock, I guess I don't know if this has to do with anything, but since there's no region lock, I really hope Nintendo doesn't have that like a tax that you have to pay, because that was probably one of the most stupidest things that Nintendo's ever done. And if they do that for the Switch, I'm still gonna hold it against them. And that's the one thing that's probably like the only. Like, I know it's one of like the smallest complaints that people I personally complained about. Why have tax for digital games when Steam, Xbox Live, and PSN don't even have that, and Nintendo's the only one that does that? I'm like, that just. So if I get a $20 card, I'm expecting to not pay tax, because when I bought, for example, when I bought New Super Luigi U for the Wii U, like the Luigi DLC for Mario U, $20. I put it down. That was the first thing I bought on the Wii. That's before I found out about the whole tax thing. I was like, alright, so I'm just gonna put it down. All the codes, buy a Luigi U, and it's like, oh, due to tax, you don't have $3 more. So I literally had to ask my dad. I'm like, Dad, I need like $3. And he was like, for what? And I'm like, because when I I bought a $20 Nintendo Network card, and they sent me $3 more because of tax. And this is the first time my dad ever like heard about that, and he was very shocked. And I ended up buying it, but I really hope Nintendo doesn't do that ever again. Just please, Nintendo. If you want to make me happy, don't put tax on digital games, please. That's all I really have to say about this. I'm not gonna talk about launch games or anything of that sort, because I've been talking for like 300 million years. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you guys enjoyed, stay subscribed, because if I get 300 subs, if I get about 15 more subs before March 3rd, doing a $20 giveaway, I just have to get 300 subs first. So, yeah, so I am going to see you all later. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this lengthy video. If you guys want to see another discussion with me, Trevor, Jerry, and Tyler, please let me know. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a good day after watching this, and take care.